Alright guys, here's another little video for some of those lads who are doing GCSE art. As you know, I'm trying to do a few videos for boys every day, or well every week, just so that you guys have got something to follow along with. Those lads who are doing the stuff on pop art or logos, let's think about how you could just do some real simple logos using your initials, okay? So for this, you know, I've just got white paper, printer paper down here. I've got pencil, a biro, you know, bog standard biro like that. And I'm just going to do a few ideas. One of the things I asked for students to do was just get a sheet of paper and do, you know, a whole set of ideas that they could use to come up with their own logo idea. And I know that's something that you've been doing in graphics as well. So let's think about just coming up with 4 ideas here based on our initials. Now, a lot of people find it hard to get started. You know, they don't know where to start when they're thinking about lettering. But there's loads of different things you could do. You can look on existing stuff and look at how they do the letters. Yeah, think about, you could, you know, copy letters off something, and there's stuff everywhere that you can copy to see, you know, what the letters might look like. Here's a pack of seeds, something like that. You can go into your cupboards where you've got stuff and think about, you know, copying the lettering off of something here. I'm just looking at this tin of peaches here. Look at the way in which this lettering's done here, and you could copy that style for yourself. Yeah, real simple stuff. You don't need to really overthink it. But I'm going to just start by using the initials of my name, and they are MR. All right, so just by drawing them out like that, I'm already starting to think about how I could turn these things into a logo. And it might be that I start by thinking about doubling those lines up and coming up with something. You know, let's think about something maybe for a sports company. So there's my M, and my R. Let's take it to its most basic level. Would be like this. Yeah, okay, so now I'm thinking, right, well, maybe I'd like to change that a bit, and I actually might turn this into something where it's just lines and arrows. So I'm going to turn the top of my M into just a little arrow pointing down. Yeah, quite like that. And then I'm going to take the top of the R into an arrow pointing that way, and then maybe this could be an arrow pointing that way. So that's just thinking about different shapes. And already I might come up with an idea for a logo here, and I might start adding colour to that. But logos could be, you know, kind of more flowing. You could think about doing your letters like this. So I'm going for just a real simple shape here, like that. There's an M and an R there. Could keep it like that, no problem with that at all. And these don't need to look all lovely and finished. Just by doing them like this and keeping them really simple, real simple drawings, it gets you so many marks, really does. And you know, just thinking about how you could do these in different ways using your own initials. If you go online and have a look at logos, there's absolutely loads. One way that I used to do logos when I was learning this was just to do 2 boxes like this, and then you take away the little bits like this, which would be the negative shapes in your letters. So there's my M, like that, and then the R, just take away that part there, and we'll bring that part up there like that, and then we'll put a little triangle in there, and there's my little MR. I could take that corner away as well. There's my little MR there. That could be quite a good logo for something. You could take that further and just draw the shapes in without drawing the boxes, and I think Adobe's one of those logos that use this technique. So look, here's the bottom of the M, but I'm just drawing the negative shape. But just by doing that, you can see the M there, or I can, but then I'm a bit odd. And then I'm going to put an R over here. Could go like that, could go like that. I'm just drawing this shape here, and that could go like that. And I've got that MR going on, but it's just a little series of little shapes. Quite like that as it goes. So let's go back to this original one and think about how we could do it slightly different by drawing a shape and then putting the lettering in it. So I'm going to take a shape like this, just an oval, and I'm just going to make the letters of my name fit into this. Yeah, so here's the M coming round, and then I bring it back up to the sides of the shape I've already got, like that, and then the R on the other side. I'm going to bring that round there. I'm going to use that bit I've already got there. Okay, so there's my logo. That'll do me very nicely. Thanks very much. And then you could colour these. I'm going to go just with something really simple. I'm going to do my background, whatever this colour is, some weird red that's not actually working very well. Might have to change that out for something. What can we find in here? Maybe one of these. Don't know if this is going to work any better. Yeah, that's better. I'm robbing my son's felt tips here because I left mine at school. If you haven't got felt tips, don't worry. You can use colour pencils or even watercolour, but we'll be doing some different videos as time goes on. I just wanted to get something out to you guys so that if you were getting bored or wanted to follow something online, you could do that. Now, I know that some of the year 8s are looking at these logos, but there's no reason why those boys are doing the GCSE stuff as well, and they're doing the GCSE coursework. I think I put it on there as well because you're doing pop art, and you could certainly be looking at designing logos because that's certainly part of the pop art stuff that you've been doing. Alright, I'm rushing this a bit, as you can tell. Going a bit outside the lines because I'm trying to avoid the camera so I don't bump it. Alright, so we're looking at a little logo like that, and then I think I'm going to add maybe a bit of blue around the outside. This is like starting to look more like a logo for some naff Poundland store rather than any kind of sports company. I'm going to put a line going around the outsides on the left hand side maybe. Or bring it in like that. Maybe that'll do. Like this. Okay. But yeah, come up with your logos and it'd be really good to see what you come up with. Oi, oi, Savaloy, Mr. Rofe here, coming in with a little bit of art. So just wanted to give some of those lads who I've sent homework out some ideas about things that they could be doing for their projects and courseworks at home. So this first one I'm going to talk about is just for those lads who've been doing the cartoon stuff, right? So what I've got here is just literally a pencil and some paper. You don't need anything flash for this. You could use pen if you want, just like a bog standard biro, like this. And obviously your other materials that I'm going to be using are some felt tips today. That's about it. You don't need loads of stuff to do this at home. I'm sure that most of you have got this around, and if not, you could get a hold of it, all right? My hand's a bit rough today because I've been gardening all weekend. So anyway, I just want to show you how you could do a few faces. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about faces today and how you could make some really cool little cartoon faces. Now, the first thing I would start by doing is drawing a small circle if you can. And that's going to obviously be our little first cartoon face. Now, if you're struggling with that, you could use just something like it's the top of a glue stick. Anything round will do it. But if you're someone who worries about drawing your circles or something like that, you could do it like that, couldn't you? No problem. All right. Even if it's a bit rough. Oh no, that's a bit dodgy. Let's go around here. Look again. Let's do that. I'll turn that into something there. Right. So yeah, you can use anything really. You could use the bottom of a cup or a tin can or something. But I just, quite happy to freehand them. Sometimes it's good to just do an odd shape. It doesn't have to be a circle, These could be all kinds of different shaped faces for cartoons, because that's what we're doing. We're looking at different cartoons, yeah? So I'm going to draw a range of faces here. And let's think about some different ways you could do one. Let's take this one where it's got this strange line coming up, and I'm going to suddenly turn that into some hair. Look, that was a little accident. I'm going to turn that into some hair. Think about two little eyes and a very small mouth like that. Doesn't have to be anything flash to make a cartoon face. It can be really simple. Okay, bit Donald Trump there. Let's get some yellow on that then. Turn that into Donald Trump. There we go. A bit of that on there like that. And it's not long before we can start to make this into a little cartoon. There's his tie and his jacket. Yeah, like this. He always has his red tie underneath. Let's see if we can get that in there. Yeah, look, we can make that into Donald Trump, no problem. We can do that. Obviously, you'd have a nice dark black. Of course, I haven't got a dark black felt, so I use this pen. Yeah, we can start to make a little Donald Trump cartoon. That would be one thing we could do, and that's just out of an accident, yeah? Okay, so what else could we do? Well, we could do your real simple emoji kind of style, so you might want to use a slightly bigger eye like that, and then think about the ways in which eyebrows can make things look different. You can have angry eyebrows, surprised eyebrows, you can have worried eyebrows, yeah, or happy eyebrows, kind of like this, yeah. You know, if you've got a big fat smile like that, or looks a bit more worried, that one. But let's go with these top ones here. So, you know, and we can do this in any way we want. We can, we could think about using just a pink pen to do some outlining. Doesn't have to be anything serious, look. And then just put these on, and that might be enough for our cartoon. Doesn't always have to be super detailed and coloured in, yeah? Okay, let's think about doing some larger eyes, more like a kind of Simpson eyeball, I suppose, like this. And we could do more of a nose that comes out like this, and then a great big smiley face. Get some teeth in there if you want to. Yeah, look, keep it really simple like this. And then again, you know, you could be doing some kind of hair like this. It's really easy to do cartoons, and I think that just sitting at home and kind of coming up with a whole range of little characters is a really nice little thing to do, and it will stand you in good stead for when we get back and we're doing our project on these, and we might do some animation or make a little cartoon of them. Yeah, if we wanted to go with that kind of Simpsons vibe, we could make him yellow all over. Obviously Simpsons all yellow, aren't they? I'm using pencil here, but if you wanted to draw in pen, that's equally fine. I'll do that one in a minute. Yeah, sometimes when you use yellow, the colour of the pencil comes away, doesn't it, a little bit? But yeah, look, you just do that nice and simple. You can put a bit of dark pink in the mouth if you want to, just to make it stand out a bit. There he is. He looks a bit scary, that guy. Anyway, something like that, you could do that. Let's think about using the biro then. Here's the biro. If you wanted to do something a little bit more kind of a different style, you could think about maybe taking the eyes off a touch like that. You could make it a little bit more angular, you know. We could do a nose that kind of is a bit more realistic like this, and then a kind of more of a grimacy mouth like that. Bring this down if you want, make it more cartoony. Yeah, cool. I can hear the wind today. I don't know about where it is where you are, but it's really windy here. So yeah, you could think about drawing something a little bit more kind of not realistic but more graphic-y, and again, you know, then you can start to use your colours, but you don't have to colour. You can just leave it black and white and just do doodles. That's fine too. I'm going to colour this all in this colour. I'm using pink here, but really with cartoons you could do any kind of skin tone you want. As I was saying, all the Simpsons, well, they're yellow, aren't they, most of them, which is quite bizarre. I'm going to try a bit of blue across those eyes. Don't know what that's going to look like. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Bit of dark red in the front there. Yeah, just to make that come down. Yeah. So, you know, and then, you know, some of you know I've been playing a lot of Minecraft with my boy. If you want to start thinking about some different characters that you could do just using blocks, that would be fine as well. You know, we all know about creepers and zombies and all this kind of stuff, but if you want to make your own versions of some Minecraft characters, that's cool too. And you can just use simple squares for that, can't you? And as I was saying, you don't have to colour them. You could just leave them black and white, like that. Maybe add a bit of tone or shading or something like that if you wanted to do that. Make them all look a bit different. That's something you could do, no problem. And then let's just think about this last one. You know, you could think about somebody you know. And I always use Mr. Stenning when I do my drawings of teachers. So let's think about Mr. Stenning here. Let's think about Mr. Stenning. He might be... let's make him a little bit grumpy because he wants you to go and do PE, but you're not going. So we do 2 little lines and 2 little dots, and then we think about these brackets. I use these brackets like using maths. So 2 brackets that way, 1 looking down, and then 1 going there and 1 going there. And then we'll give him a little grim mouth like that. And then let's add in his little beard for Mr. Stenning. Here he comes. And then get his little moustache over the top like that. There he is, Mr. Stenning, and he's waiting for you to come and get changed. Yeah, get changed, or you get ketchup. And you could just leave him like that, or again, if you wanted to add some tone, you could add tone to that. Anyway, I'd be really great to see what you guys come up with. Maybe get a few done yourself, and yeah, enjoy it. Okay, see you later. Right, I hope that's recording. Mr. Rofe here in his greenhouse, my plastic greenhouse. So I'm going to just do a little bit of video on sowing some seeds, because I know in the calls I've had with a lot of you, you're talking a little bit about maybe growing some vegetables at home, and I think that's a great idea. You can still buy seeds and compost and everything you need on the post. Just a few ideas of what you could be sowing today. You could be doing some lettuce. That's not too bad. You can get that on the go. That's what we're going to be doing today. And you can do some tomatoes like that, and chilies. There are other things that you can do. But some of these things, chilies and tomatoes especially, you're going to have to keep inside on a sunny windowsill for a little while, you know, maybe for a good month while they get strong, before it gets warm enough to plant them outside. Other things that you could be doing include flowers. So you could be doing your sunflowers now if you wanted to, but the process is the same, and that's what I'm going to show you. So we're going to do some lettuce seed, and I'm just going to show you how to do that today, and then you can do that yourselves at home. All right. So what can I sow in? Well, you could sow in something like this. This is what was left over from planting some plants out. I just kept it. That would be perfectly fine. You could use something more traditional, like your terracotta pots. You might have some of those knocking around. You might, you know, you can use old yogurt pots if you have to. You can use anything you like. But I'm going to go with like a real bog standard small little square pot like this. If you haven't got any compost, don't worry, you can still dig some up from your garden. Things will still grow, so don't worry about that, all right? You don't need all the fancy stuff, okay? So this is how I would do it. It's sometimes a good idea to have two pots, and I'll show you why in a minute. So to do something like lettuce, all the instructions will be written on the back. So when you have a look, it will tell you when you can sow, and here it says March. Look, you can see that, March, and how to do it. But what we're going to do is we're going to sow into a pot, and then once things have started to grow, we will take them out of that and either put them into a flower bed outside or grow them in a bigger pot. But the first thing we're going to do is just get them to germinate. So no difference here, I'm just using a seed packet that's open already. So the first thing you want to do is get your pot like this, and I'm using some compost here, and you want to almost fill it up. Make sure you push down into the corners of the pot so you get plenty of compost in there. Now obviously different seeds are different sizes. Lettuce seeds are really small, but you know, just to show you, if we were doing courgettes or squashes, they'd be this size, and you might only put one or two of those into a pot this size, nothing more than that. If we were doing beans a little bit later on in the year, we'll be doing beans, they're this size. You could do 3 or 4 of those in a pot, and then once they're up, you can do something with those. But with the lettuce, you'll see they're absolutely minuscule. So the best way to do it is to put some into the palm of your hand, just a few, and you'll see how small they are. I mean, there's about 50 or 60 there. I don't need only half of that amount, not even that. And some lettuce seeds are white, some are black. These ones are black, so it's a bit harder to see. But once you've got your compost like this, what you want to do is just almost do it as if you're sprinkling a bit of salt on your dinner, just like this. And you want to try and have them spaced out a little bit if you can, okay? So just like that, really simple. Then once you've done that, just a real light sprinkling on the top. It doesn't need to be all pushed down too firm or anything like that, just a little gentle push down like that. Okay, so that's the lettuce in there. And then the last thing I always do, which I think is really handy, is just to write a little label about what we've done and the date. It's the 29th today, and I'll just pop that in. Now lettuce can stay outside in my little cold greenhouse, but you can take them indoors on a sunny windowsill just to make sure that they get a good start. But they'll be quite happy outside now because they don't like it too hot. The last thing that you've got to do with that is just give it a little water, just so that the compost is damp, and you want to check that every couple of days just to make sure that it stays damp, okay? And then hopefully in a few, maybe a week or so, you'll get something that looks like that. So these are some little gem lettuces that I sowed, let's have a look, about 14-15 days ago, and they're ready now for me to start moving those out and putting them into their own pots, but we'll do that next time. Okay, there you go, nice and simple. Have a go, start growing some food. Excellent.